the other players were talking trash to our guys and talking about new school and not coming in here. And I mean, they already were taking it very personal. And in both situations, there were no free layups. Everyone got fouled going to the basket.
Well, Dave Balls' boys not welcomed all that warmly in either of their first two conference contests, but such is the life of a rookie on the road. Good evening, everyone. North Florida and Jacksonville extending the cold shoulder and the occasional elbow to the ribs as the Eagles landed in hostile territory to start league play. But in tonight's first ever A-Sun home game, the Eagles nest helping with its own hardwood welcome. Tonight, FGCU hosting Stetson. First ever conference game at Alico, and senior Rob Quaintance putting on a show, especially in the first half. My intern Eric says this is Rob dropping threes like, whoa. Sounds good to me. Eagles up one, but the visiting Hatters looking to run and ruin the occasion. A.J. Smith slashing to the rack, all part of a stretch in which the Eagles go 7 minutes without a bucket. Hatters up a deuce at recess. In the second, Eagles eventually spread their wings. Quaintance from behind the arc, 3 of his 17. That ties him for the team high, and it ties the game at 55 all. But as quickly as he is the hero, Quaintance becomes the GOAT. Driving baseline in too deep, wild pass out of bounds. Then on the next possession, another turnover. Garfield Blair for Stetson. Nail, coffin, dagger, all of it. Eagles have their feathers ruffled in their first ever home conference game, 70-62. Is your final. More hoops, and who says there's no such thing as a do-over in the NBA? For the first time since 1982, today the league upholds a protest recognizing Pat Riley's request for a replay in last month's game between the Heat and the Hawks. With inside a minute to go, officials on hand disqualified Shaq after picking up his 5th foul, not his 6th. Atlanta went on to win the game in OT by a couple of buckets. So as such, the two teams will pick it up from the point in which Shaq fouled out, the 51-second mark, prior to the start of their next meeting, which is in March. As for tonight's tilt, the Heat at the Hornets. Miami been sitting on just 8 wins since December the 22nd, a run of 9 straight losses. Pat Riley and Byron Scott, friends from their Laker days, nothing though friendly about this. The Heat turning over deep in their own end, and here come the Hornets. Chris Paul for Peja Stojakovic, reverse layup. New Orleans up a deuce, and it gets worse after the half. More Chris Paul to beat the buzzer in the third. Hornets up by 20, and then for good measure, how about Bobby Jackson? Nice night for him from behind the arc. 9 for 9 from 3. The Heat lose their 10th straight, stung by the Hornets. 114-88 is your final. Elsewhere now, it seems one of the world's fastest ever women has run out of time. 5-time Olympic medalist Marion Jones arrives at court in White Plains, New York today, where the 31-year-old is sentenced to 6 months in prison for lying about using steroids and a check fraud scam. After years of adamant denials, this past fall, Jones finally admitted to using a designer steroid prior to the 2000 Sydney Olympics. Jones has since been stripped of her medals and seen her name erased from the record books.
I respect the judge's orders, and I truly hope that people will learn from my mistakes.
Of course, plenty of mistakes for the Everblades in last night's loss at Augusta. I'd say this is a pretty nice rebound. 6-1 the final over the Lynx. Derek Damon with a natural hat trick in the first. 3 straight goals for him. Former NHL #1 pick Brad Brown making his presence felt with a tally. Kirk McDonald, Brad Harrop also light the lamp as Florida wins it going away. They're at Columbia tomorrow afternoon. Finally, from goals to holes, George McNeil out in Hawaii for the second PGA Tour event of the young season. As Len Jennings pointed out earlier, you do not see many snowmen in the Aloha State. However, on his 17th hole, the North Fort Myers alum makes an exception. A quadruple bogey 8, that is a snowman. However, it does not keep George from missing the cut. The former Red Knight heads to the weekend at +1. And we head to commercial break. We're right back after this.
It's back, and it's better than ever. Back